God brought me back into education from being the assistant director of the Kansas City Chiefs cheerleaders for 11 years to going back and getting my degree in administrative K through 12 education, and then when I was getting ready to take another job, asking me to stop by a school and just visit. And I did. I ended up there last year, and it is an urban Christian school on Paseo called Providence School of Arts. And it is not a discipleship school, which is very different from most Christian schools. It's a missional Christian school, and so they take anyone, basically. And then what they do is they go through a process of figuring out what the family can afford to pay for education, and that's all they pay. And we have about 58% of our students have some type of label that they've been given in the public schools or even before public school, because we all know that public schools get more funding when they have more labels. So that's become part of the problem. It's a vicious circle of getting more money, you gotta have more labels. And anyway, so we have about 58% of our students have some accommodation in the classroom. So it becomes normal for the classrooms to just do things in a different manner. They are pre-K all the way through, last year was 9th grade, going into 10th grade this year. The Lord took me away from there. Yesterday was actually my last day at Providence, and I'm now going to be principal at Maranatha Christian Academy, just right up the road in Shawnee. And I've been asking the Lord, what in the world are you doing here with me? Because I didn't want to go back into education anyway. I argued so much with him for a year, I thought I was going to have a limp. And so, but it's one of those things where you just, it's God. So what the Lord had started talking to me about, actually in 2009, while I was running a life coaching business, working particularly with rescued sex trafficked victims, he started talking to me about, he kind of coined this term, and he kept asking me, where have all the children gone? And so I would wake up in the middle of the night, and I'd hear, where have all the children gone? And then he started downloading, it's actually a fiction book, but downloading the book to me through dreams and visions that hopefully will be done a year from this August, because I can't write it unless I get a dream or a vision. I've actually tried and it didn't work. But he started talking to me about the history of education. And you referred a bit to that about why education even came about. Well, education was always the responsibility of the family. And it happened at home. And if you do your research, you'll find that where it started changing was in the Old Testament, whenever God's people started marrying people from other cultures that worshiped idols. And the priests in the synagogue started getting very concerned that their traditions and the Torah and all that was not going to be taught the way it should be, because they were bringing idolic worship into the home. And so they started schooling young men in the synagogue. And, that grew.